to infinity and beyond.
Hey everyone, it's Roger and James here from the DisKingdom Gaming Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the sort of our thoughts of the current Disney Magic Kingdom's Alice in Wonderland event, kind of a review in progress slash. I'm going to ask the question really, has this game lost its magic? Because we've been feeling a little bit salty about this game, and I wasn't sure if it was just us, so I did actually ask a question out on a couple of the different Facebook groups, including our own DisKingdom Gaming and also on the Disney Mobile Gaming Facebook group. So we're going to go into that first, but we'll just jump into like our initial thoughts on the actual event so far. Just Alice in Wonderland, as of the time of this recording, I am about 3 items away from trying to get the March Hare. I've already purchased the bundle for the White Rabbit and also the float. It's one of those things. It's just. I know that I'm going to buy these things, so it's like it makes sense to buy them on day one. The price, I can see the price. I know I always feel like it's not a bad value in terms of how many hours I'm putting into it. I've obviously got the Mad Hatter. We got a couple of other characters coming up. We got the blue caterpillar. We've also got Alice. Cheshire Cat is going to be another premium one, and then we're going to finally finish off with the Queen of Hearts being the boss. I think it runs about 3 weeks. First of my thoughts on this was a little bit like, why didn't they do this a Halloween mini event and then do this in November? It's felt a little bit weird, like having this as the Halloween event, because it had nothing to do with it. These characters feel like they should have been in the main story rather than an event as well, because they're so old. We're talking about a 50, 60, 70-year-old movie at this point. It just felt a little bit odd being it. I don't know what you thought.
Well, I mean, in terms of it being an event, I think that the real problem here is that I question whether there are enough iconic characters in Alice in Wonderland to really justify an event, because the template they're using now is 6 characters, 2 of which are premium, and then the villain on top of that. Yeah. Now, we've done that with Aladdin, we've done that with Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, all these guys. A lot of those movies have enough characters that are in the public conscious, and that might just be because they're more recent movies, but it's fairly easy to say, oh, these are the characters that I want. I want all 6 of these characters. Whereas Alice in Wonderland, you've got Mad Hatter, you've got Cheshire Cat, and you've got Alice. And then the other 3 characters in this, March Hare, White Rabbit, and Caterpillar, they might be familiar, but they're not like huge characters. They didn't get much press in any of the other Alice re-releases. I'd question, how much do people really want these characters? Now, of course, you've got to get all of them if you want to get Alice. Yeah. Because, you don't have to get the premiums. You do have to get the other 3 characters. But obviously, I think Cheshire Cat is going to be one of the top desired characters, and so, of course, that's the expensive premium.
Yeah, unfortunately, they have a tendency to whack them up in price because, I don't know what the price of them in, but I think White Rabbit was like a £3-4, something like that, which I'm fine, because I think we got a building and a few other bits and pieces, so it's fine. And I feel like White Rabbit needed a little bit of a boost because it's not a main character. But if they come out with something stupid like he's £10, I'm not buying him. I'm just as simple as that. I won't. I am, getting to that point, because there are some problems with the game, and also since this last update, there has been a major problem for me. In that when I click on the green little icon to go for each character, suddenly it gets lost and goes back to the ones that it wants to send. So instead of me getting all my characters in and then deciding where I'm going, it suddenly gets distracted and goes back to the first one I did and wants me to send them off on a mission. And then I have to try to find it, and it's just like, this is a problem that's only come in since this update. I think you did mention something to me about, I didn't know quite what you meant till it happened to me.
Oh yeah, it completely broke it. Now, for the most part, it's just an inconvenience.
Yeah.
It's it doesn't actually matter what order you do these characters, whether you send characters off while other ones still need to be picked up. The problem comes in when you finish a mission quest. Yeah. You have to send, the Mad Hatter off to find the tea party or whatever. And, okay, so you finish it, and Mad Hatter comes back, and he tells you about all the things he forgot and the things that he remembered to forget and all that stuff.
You mean you read it? I don't...
Oh, yeah, I read them. They're actually kind of entertaining. And it's the only thing really getting through this event for me is the Mad Hatter, his bonkers, which is great. But he goes away, and there's going to be a mission after it, because there has to be a mission after it. Maybe, got to invite the March Hare or build a building or even just send him on another quest. but now he's buried like 20 clicks into the list, and I'm like, I don't want to send anyone on missions now because they might have a story mission that they have to do. Now, I haven't actually seen a Woody and Jesse mission yet, but we've had them in past events. They normally have a side mission going on. Mickey and Goofy might have a side mission going on. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm expecting it will at some point because they try to bring in some of those characters anyway.
Yeah.
And if they don't fix this, if they don't drop a patch at some point to resolve this, it's going to be really annoying.
Yeah, I'm finding it very, very hard to kind of get all the characters in, because what I tend to do is pull in get all the items, then I go over to Merlin and do the quick suck everything in, right? Yep. And then I will send them off on 1 hour missions or 2 hour or 8 hour missions, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm going off to work, I will leave it for 8 hours or going to bed, etc. But, and this is the biggest problem, and I think it's a reoccurring thing, it's becoming a chore. Because there's too much. There's too many characters. There's too much. They've got to the point where they need some major character management systems, because this game is drowning under its own content, in my opinion. Now there are all these characters from all these events, like The Incredibles and was it Mulan and Frozen, that are not doing anything. And Lion King, Beauty and the Beast. These guys are not doing anything for any of these events. We're not even getting Alice tokens with them. They aren't even contributing to that, which I think is wrong. I think every single character should have 1 or 2. They should be minimum. It's like it just feels like it's such a waste that nearly 3/4 of the characters are not even contributing to this event in the slightest.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been saying this for a while. There are too many characters for the current management system, and it's only gotten worse over time. And it's going to get worse if they don't fix this.
Yeah.
If they don't put something else in, I'm just, at a minimum, let me filter out characters who don't have a mission that can grant a token. Just, I don't need to see them because they're wasting space, and that would reduce the number of characters I've got to flip through by probably like 60%.
I mean, the easiest option to me, first off, is just to have a Merlin spell which pulls in all the tick boxes and pulls in all the items. That would be the easiest item to bring in. That would reduce time by a bit. But also just to be able to pick maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, 6 or 8 missions, and you send them all away and they do it all, or just to collect every item that you need, or something like that, and so there's a little bit of scope. Now, I did ask a question out just for a bit of thing. Are you enjoying the Alice event, or have you burnt out? Now, I've had good response, about 25 different responses. So Chrissy puts that never really liked Alice in Wonderland, but they're enjoying their events. Vanessa said, I've been waiting for it since I saw the banner. It's always been one of my favourites. Lauren Harrison, I was burnt out when they had the Aladdin event. As soon as I got Jafar, I stayed off my app to give myself a break. I'm ready to get past the Mad Hatter and March Hare though their conservations have made them dizzy. Sydney said, burnt out, I'm over events, let's progress the storyline. Jennifer, I like it, but I'm caught up in most of the storyline and it's given me a chance to collect magic to open up the land while I focus on Alice. Michael said, burnt out, as much as I love more land, I prefer to put the characters away who don't add anything to the event, which I'm looking at you, The Incredibles. Crystal said, burnt out, I'm doing this because I want the characters but really just want the 20 days to be over. Elizabeth, the event is okay but not an Alice fan, I would have preferred other characters and more land. Colby, I like the new things but the event seems more time consuming than the last. Stephanie, burnt out, Lion King and Aladdin were too close together and really did me in. I've been logging in occasionally since I got Jafar. I'm just not as dedicated as I used to be. I love the idea of putting characters away, but I rarely send out a character anymore unless it rewards an item. Molly, I haven't played since mid-September. I'm tired of the events. I'm tired of the storylines. I'm getting completely fed up trying to get to, and it's all down to trying to get Bagheera. It just isn't fun anymore. I've literally got Mowgli this morning. I've been trying for him for a month. Michelle said I'm enjoying it. Kendra said I'm burnt out, not a fan of Alice. I still want to play them all day, but I'm looking forward to playing it one day. Brooke, I'm enjoying it. Rush said, so far so good. I've maxed out the storyline. Was just waiting for you to get everyone to level 10. So it's fun having something new and different is always welcome. Sandra was game crashed, second air, first one I've mint. Rebecca said I'm enjoying it. I love Ian's thing was a basically a gif of a bit of candle wick, so it's indicating that he's burnt out. Kim said, I like the event, keeps me more engaged, but I'm not going to bother getting all the gem characters, and that bothers me, so I'm going to buy chests after the events, as I can't save enough gems for the future. That's one tactic. And Tony, I like the events. Kendra said, thumbs up. Heather's, nothing's dropping for the Alice characters, just for other stuff I don't need. David, I'm enjoying it for now. Sue said it's okay, nothing, not as exciting as usual. Event burnout, I guess. Karen, burnout intrudes on fun characters. And Joy added, I've never been a big fan of Alice, but decided to watch the movie and give the event a chance. I'm actually enjoying it now. Cool graphics and fun tasks. Yeah, it's nice to know what the funny but cute and what it's all about. So someone actually went off and was kind of intrigued by the characters to go and find out who they are, which is kind of cool.
And that's what Disney wants, obviously, is ultimately for you to go, oh yeah, I remember Alice in Wonderland, I'm going to go watch it. And buy the Blu-ray or buy the digital HD or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. I was very surprised with that because I thought it was just us being grumpy. But it sounds like we might not be the only ones.
And I was thinking about it. I think something that might help is if they've changed up these events a little bit. We have functionally had the same event, minus the little mini events like Nightmare Before Christmas and Mulan. The same event since The Incredibles. Now, they made little tweaks. They made little changes, some for good, some for bad, like freaking having to go get the 1 hour tokens so that you can then go fight the magic chest, which are now... Yeah, why did they change it to 3 minutes? That's just... wasteful. I get it. They're trying to get us to stay in the app longer because apparently that's a very important metric these days. But
it's not
it's
working.
just frustrating. No, actually, what it's doing is I'm forgetting that I've got these people on very short missions, and I come back an hour later. It's like, oh yeah, Mickey.
Yeah, I did.
That's
I
a waste
did that last night. I only had them on 3 minute missions, and I left it for an hour and a bit. Okay. I think the event needs. I think they need to mix it up. I think I'm worried at this point now because I feel like if the hardcore mobile gamers that play this game religiously are starting to get bored and are starting to get burnt out, what is happening to the general consensus? Because there's usually like a barometer. If we're feeling it, then the general, you've got to maximize it out. And if, there may be the people that aren't quite so fussed about it. Don't know. I feel like I feel like a little bit worrying for the game as a whole if this is what's happening.
Right, and I mean, there has been positives in here, like the Aladdin, I think the Lion King event was in like July or something like that, and Aladdin was right after that. So it has actually been a little while since we had a proper event. We have had story content. There's been the Jungle Book. They've actually done 2 Jungle Book updates, so now you can get Shere Khan and King Louie for an absurd amount of money and whatnot. But yeah, they need to vary this up. They need to change the event structure, preferably to something better, but just something different, so it's not the same over and over. They need to change the way that we manage our characters, especially for people who've been playing from the beginning and who have all or almost all of the characters. Yeah. If you have all of the characters, including the ones from the Alice event that have thus far been released, you are almost at 100 characters right now.
Yeah. It's getting to the point where it's becoming a chore, and I think they have desperately got to try and work something out. And like I said, I think there's that thing as well of like now going into this this Alice thing, that thing about if I don't get Queen of Hearts, okay, Queen or Caterpillar or whatever it is, you start going, well, you guys give me nothing after the event. These characters, every other event is not really impacting on. And then you get the odd random character that needs some tokens, like I was finding with Mowgli. It's like, well, I haven't got half the characters that's needed because they're all like bosses from, or they've hit, or also like, oh, you need to get a bullseye up to level 8 or something like that. And it's like, whoa, you've really kind of upped the ante on this, on those characters to make it almost. I mean, Mowgli's taking me weeks to get. It's going to take me probably till Christmas by the time I get Bagheera, I think. It just feels like they've got to do something because what worked when they started the game isn't working with 100 characters.
Yeah, and I think there's also the additional problem that you get with any game that's been out for this long is now you've got to balance it for both new players and old players, and these old players haven't had content for several months to spend, the magic on. So personally, I've got like 3 million magic points, give or take. Now I know Shere Khan is supposed to take like 800 something thousand, which for me, having been able to build up that money for the last several months isn't a problem. I'll just be like, whatever, down to 2 million, who cares? But if you've got a person coming up through it for the first time, they're digging their way through the story content, it's going to take them a long time to get 800,000 magic. I
think this is the one good thing with the events is it resets everyone to 1 point because everyone can enjoy it at the same speed. Because, if you got a lot more characters this season, but even that's not helping because you only need like 6 characters for this event. Once you've got past like Jesse and Woody, nobody else is helping you at this point. Obviously, and none of the other event characters are helping you towards the event currency, which is just bizarre. So yeah, everyone is on the same point, but it is just an odd one, and I do feel like they need to start making some adjustments to the game to make this work. Because if they carry on at this rate, another 3-4 events down the line, this is going to be unplayable.
Yeah, that is what we're looking at. They need new management for the characters at a minimum. And there are other quality of life improvements that need to be made to this game as well, but that's the big one. That's the one that would be like the difference between, okay, I'll continue playing, there might be some problems, but I'll continue playing, or this isn't worth my time. If it takes me 15 to 20 minutes to get through all my characters, and we're getting to that point, especially with it broken. It'll be a little better once they fix the menu, but with it broken, it's easily taken. I'm just like, do I want to do this? Yeah. No, not really.
It has become that thing of, it's like last night, and they're like, okay, well, I need to do some hour missions and stuff. And I just like, oh, God, it's like, and I actually got to the point where I was logging in, just clicking on the March hairs and on and only sending them away because I sent everybody else on 4 8-hour missions, and I'm like, I just want whoever's just can help me with March hair. That's all I'm interested in. But it's like, click it, click, oh, gotta go back, kill it, click it, click back on there. And it's like, it's just, it's just pain.
I'm getting unreasonably mad at characters who only have like hour or 2 hour actions available to them. Just get out of my way, Bagheera. I need you to have a 12-hour action so you can just go hunt in the jungle for 12 hours and not bother me.
It would be really nice if, right, you have it's like when you can send Jack and Eve off 24 hours. That's it, gone. You're gone. But we'd love to know, what do you think of the Alice in Wonderland event? Obviously, we'll do a full event review once it's over. But what are you thinking so far? And what do you think the game needs changing? Do you agree with us and what everybody else has said? Love to know your thoughts on that as per usual. You can check us out over at DisKingdom.com. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe button, follow button on whichever system. If you can follow us on all the different social medias, that makes a great difference for us as well. James, where can they find you?
Find me heroiclegacy.com. And I'd also add on one additional question to that. If you do like the event, is it because you're enjoying the game, or is it because you're a fan of Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
So.
Yes. On that note, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you guys soon. Later.